Hey everybody, I'm Ryan Little, and you're listening to the Filmmaking Friends podcast, episode number 5. Today, we're hanging out with full-time filmmaker, actor, and good friend, Mr. BART Johnson. He teaches me how to keep my head in the game while we talk about High School Musical and what it was like for him to play the part of Coach Bolton. We also talk about other future projects he's got coming up and what it's like to be a full-time film dad. You are a friend, a filmmaker, and an actor, a producer, many things, but I always say it in threes because it sounds good in threes.
Yeah.
But
I like all those hyphens.
Yeah.
Makes me feel really good inside.
Well, thank you for hanging out with me on my little podcast today. Appreciate your time.
Hey, my pleasure. This is fun.
Now, for those of you that don't know who BART Johnson is, BART is probably most famous for being playing the part of Coach Bolton on the High School Musical series, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, I'm obviously you've been an actor much longer than that, of course. Do you remember when you started acting, actually? How old you were?
Well, yes, I started acting in high school when I started doing theater.
Okay.
And then when I was 21, I started doing more and more theater.
Yeah.
And then I was going to college and doing theater, and I fell asleep after rehearsal and rolled my car, and I got this cool little scar right here on my elbow.
Oh, we both have rolled our cars.
Is that right?
Yeah, I rolled my car going up to Sundance one winter. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, I was in Midway. I was going home. I was almost home, man.
And I'm going up to Sundance, so we're almost in the same area, dude.
Yeah. I fell asleep, though. Did you fall asleep? No.
No, it was black ice. Black ice.
Yeah.
Going up to a party, and it did us in.
So when I rolled my car, I was like, I got to stop doing this because I'm doing theater all night.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to do school all day. And I was like, I really don't know if I need a degree to go to the film, the drama, whatever. Yeah. It's like, if you're not going to NYU or, I don't know, USC
some big place like that.
Great, you're probably better off not going to film school necessarily.
Yeah.
I'm huge fan of college in general.
Sure.
Just not necessarily like theater. Well, whatever.
You have a very valid point. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, of course.
I feel so negative saying that.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Okay.
It's all good. It's all good. So what? Yeah. So tell me when you decide, hey, you know what? I want to do this as a career. This is the thing that I'm going to make my money at.
Well, it was. Well, it was probably when I went to LA when I was 21, and I visited my mom on the set of Newsies.
Dude, I love Newsies.
It was amazing.
This interview is getting better by the moment.
Hey.
We rolled our car, and we both love Newsies.
We're just mining all sorts of gems.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm on the set of, it was the reshoots of Newsies, and Kenny Ortega was there, who ended up, later hiring me for High School
Yes,
Musical.
that's right. He did direct that.
Yeah, and then Kenny Ortega was there, and Christian Bale and
Bill Pullman?
Gene Kelly was there visiting.
Oh, I knew Bill Pullman was obviously
there.
in it, but Gene Kelly?
I didn't never met Bill Pullman. I heard he's great. But yeah, Gene Kelly was there, like on set.
Really?
It was amazing.
Oh, wow.
Like, oh, man. Singing in the Rain. It's my favorite movie ever.
Yeah.
So there he is, like in the flesh. So
I was expecting you to say Xanadu was your favorite movie, because that's, I think, the last movie he was ever in.
Is that right?
I think so. Anyway, sorry to get off on track there.
Wow.
Every time I think of Xanadu, I think of him.
Wow.
But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Huh.
Anyway, sorry. But he was there, and you got to meet him. He was super cool.
I did not get to meet Gene Kelly.
Oh, you did not get to meet him?
No. I saw him. I was like, wow,
cool.
that's him.
Yeah.
It's like when I saw Marlon Brando at the yogurt shop down here in Studio City.
Yeah?
He used to go to Pagliacci's down here in Coldwater.
Yeah.
And he'd bring in his grandchildren and just sit right in this little chair on the side, kind of tucked away. And I was like, oh my gosh, man, this Marlon Brando right there, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Little tiny guy. Guy.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah. Anyway, so I met my friend Ellie Keats on that. And she said, hey, let's go to the movies tonight. And I was like, oh, cool, man. I don't know anybody in LA. And there's this big actor invited me out. And I was like, okay, cool. So we went out and we started hanging out for a couple days. And I saw that she's like 2 years younger than me. And she's, I don't know, she's like 19 or so. And she's living on her own. She got this cool pad in the Hollywood Hills. And I thought, man, this was pretty realistic. Like she's doing, and then I kind of got exposed to a little bit more.
Right.
And then I saw that it was a reality. It's not like, it's not something you can't do. It's reasonable and people are doing it. So I thought, well, if they can do it, I mean, I can do it. Right?
Yeah.
So then I started pursuing it at that point, I guess.
Yeah. And do you remember what your first feature was?
Well, I remember my first job when I got my SAG card.
Yeah, what was that?
Was actually in Utah. Crossroads. Remember that TV series Crossroads came to town? It was Robert Urich and Dalton James were the two leads in this TV series.
I didn't think I ever watched it, but I feel like I've seen the commercials for it. It sounds very familiar.
It was great, man. It was a cool show. At least, it was back then. I haven't seen it since, I guess. I guess I should be careful what I endorse. It might have been terrible. But there was a guy, so I got a guest star on it, which was amazing. I played his character Frosty. And he's this redneck kind of guy, and it was a bad guy. And I was the sidekick of the guest star that they brought in from L.A. They always bring in the hot shots from L.A. Is this guy Don Harvey, great actor, man. Yale School of Drama, really classically trained, great actor. And we hit it off. And James Gammon was on the show as well. And I started hanging out with these guys. They're like, hey, we're doing a play.
James, he's great.
He's great, man. He's awesome. And they said, we're doing this play in L.A. Why don't you come down and be a part of it? And then Don Harvey invited me to be a roommate. He had this place in Echo Park. And I was, I was 21 years old and said, yeah, I'll do it. And packed up the car. I didn't know anybody else. I hardly knew those guys. I knew them for a few days.
Right.
And I packed up my car and drove out. And
you were single at this time? You weren't married yet,
single,
right?
yeah.
Still very single.
Yeah, totally single.
That's
and
cool.
then my mom was a hairstylist on Mork and Mindy growing up.
I've worked with your mom. She's great. I didn't know she worked on Mork and Mindy.
Oh, yeah, she's a legend, man.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know she's been doing it for years, of course.
Yeah.
I knew that, yeah.
Yeah. No, she's one of the best ever.
Yeah.
And so I had Pam Dauber's phone number.
Right.
Mark Harmon's wife, And I called her up when I got to her. I said, hey, I moved to L.A. I'm looking for an agent, manager. She goes, call my friend Terrence Hines. And I ended up going to meet this guy, and he became my manager and got me started in the business. So it was kind of the one connection that kind of got me started.
It's nice to know people. That helps.
It's pretty great, man. It's pretty great. And this is what I learned, is it gets you in the door.
Yeah.
But that's all it does. And then it's really up to you, because I remember, I didn't know what to do. So I got this monologue. I heard you have to learn, a great monologue, and then you got to deliver, man. So that's what I did. I went in and I sat on his floor. I wish I could find that monologue, but I cried, on his, it was just, this is monologue about this guy dying. He was in the war, and it's just the guy was, it was I was a total wreck and balling on his floor, and he's signed me on the spot.
Yeah.
And then he sent me to Stone Manners. He goes, you got to watch this. You got to see this guy. And 2 days later, I was on their floor, crying on their floor, and they're like, we're signing you right now. And then it was just
you signed with contracts. You actually signed with Stone Manners?
Yeah.
I love Stone Manners.
Oh, they're great.
They're a great agency. Yeah.
Awesome.
So you were with them. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and that got my start right there. So yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah. Now, obviously you did many movies after that, of course, right?
Yeah.
Because now you're married and have kids, and you're still a working actor.
Right.
And you did the High School Musical series, and of course the first one nobody knew. It was just a TV movie at that time, right?
Yeah.
It was
just little TV movie without a name. They didn't have a name for it.
Yeah.
They just called it. They said, "We're calling it High School Musical until we find a name."
Yeah.
And they never found.
Well,
a name.
it was so funny because I just had another memory. You can tell that my kids have been on too many movie sets, because you called me, hey, you should come visit High School Musical 3. You should come visit me on set. And I was like, yeah, sounds great. I'd love to come. So I said, hey, Bart's invited us to come to set. Let's go check it out. And my kids were like, normally kids would be like, oh my gosh, and they'd freak out and fall on the ground. And my kids were like, how long do we have to stay?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. What do you why are you acting like that? You're supposed to be super excited. And like, okay, we'll go. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get there. And again, my kids are not fazed by any famous people at all. We get there, and my youngest son, who at the time was, I think, 4, maybe 5, he sees Corbin Bleu, and he goes, hey, it's Corbin Bleu. And then he walks over to Corbin Bleu, and you and I are standing there. I don't know if you remember this. He walks over to Corbin Bleu, and I'm like, look, he's talking to Corbin Bleu. And then they walk over, and they get ice cream. And then they go sit down on the curb for 10 minutes and eat the ice cream. And then he comes back, and you and I are talking, and he's like, yeah, he's pretty cool. Anyway, sorry.
Corbin's the best, by the way. He is the greatest, man. That dude.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
It was just awesome, he doesn't know my 5-year-old. Hey, you want to get some ice cream?
Yeah.
Let's eat some ice cream. Let's hang out.
Yeah.
He was so cool about it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
not surprised at all.
It's a great story. I love to tell people that story about him. But so you do this. You're Coach Bolton, and of course, constantly on social media, people are constantly recognizing you now.
Yeah.
But it's been a few years, well, maybe more than a few, since we've had that series come out.
10 years, man.
So those kids that recognized you and watched you when that movie came out are now how old?
It's really funny because it was a very kind of specific age. It was like elementary school.
Yeah.
I couldn't take my kids to elementary school. It was crazy. The kids were
right.
It was like the mob. And then now I've seen them get older, and now they're high school, and now it's like high school and college age. So it's kind of, parents don't have any clue who I am. I mean, for 10 years, it's been parents coming, up to me like, I'm sorry, my kids think you're this guy from high school. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, I am. So now they're getting older. They're not quite old enough to give me jobs. See, I'm waiting for that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm waiting for that to kick in.
Yeah. You've invested in them. They need to invest in you now.
Really.
Right?
Like all you my wildcats out there, please go get like big, powerful jobs and
yes.
Give me lots of employment.
Yes. So now, and I remember there was like I'm going to say, because my social media skills are a little sad, but there's a some viral video that went out.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That was crazy.
Twitter.
Like, it's everywhere.
It's crazy. That thing's crazy.
How did that happen? What is that exactly? Who
I was like jogging one night in Universal City, right by Universal Studios.
Yeah.
And this carload of girls, like, they came up and started screaming out their window, and I saw them getting out their phones and everything,
Yeah.
And they said, "Hey, it's Troy Bolton's dad." And so I run up to the window. I'm like, "Hey, Wildcats, get your head in the game," and run off.
Yeah.
I don't think anything of it.
Yeah.
And like 2 hours later, I'm getting tagged by like hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And so I pop on social media to see what it is, and it's this video, man, and it has like 4 million hits on this video.
Yeah.
Mad Men had like less than 1 million people watching it, right?
Yeah.
This thing had 4 million hits in like a night.
That's crazy.
And then it's been reposted on, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 different sites now.
Yeah.
And they all have 2, 3, 4 million views. It's crazy.
Well, the real question is, did it show on TMZ? That's the real thing.
TMZ called me and interviewed me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I did a spot on TMZ. They wanted to know about it and how it happened and how those girls found me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's funny. So, obviously, that's an iconic part. People recognize you for it, like that great viral video. I'm just curious, like, when you do auditions and things like that, can you tell, like, if you're doing a really killer audition that's totally different from that part? Are you ever like, oh, dude, all they're seeing is the coach. They can't see me in this part. I mean, do you ever think that has a bad effect on anything? Are they able to see beyond that?
No, dude, here's the thing. I think when people think, see, this is an interesting thing about my career that I've kind of come to understand, is that people think like my career began with High School Musical.
Right,
and it's
which
like,
is not true.
It's not true, man. I was around for like 12 years, 15 years before High School Musical.
Yeah.
And I had much better jobs that were much better for my career and gave me a lot more opportunities.
Yeah.
And I made a lot more money, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I had, like, probably the best job I had was this TV series called Hyperion Bay. It was on Warner Brothers.
Oh,
a lot of people saw it. It was cool. And I've done like a ton of, guest spots on a lot of different shows and, NCIS and NCIS Los Angeles and JAG and, whatever. But just a bunch of different stuff. And then I did this show and I thought, oh, well, I'll be getting all the opportunities like all these kids do.
Yeah.
And I kind of realized that, like, it's not really cool necessarily to be like the Disney guy. Like, oh, you don't want to put like I'm not going to get an opportunity on a lead in an HBO show if I'm like coming off a Disney dad show on a Disney movie,
Yeah.
It's like there's not a cool factor there at all. It's like popularity, it's like a really recognizable. I've got this fan. I will say this though, I don't take it for granted. I'm full of gratitude for what it is, because what it gave me was like the greatest fans in the whole entire world. I mean, the High School Musical fans are the greatest, and they're passionate. And they're excited, and they're like, they light up. I mean, they are amazing. They are amazing, and that's why Is this good? The Ghetto Birds?
Well, what it is one of the things about the podcast is we don't do it in a professional studio with the professional mics where your face is against the mic. We do it wherever, and we're doing it in your backyard in this beautiful garden at night, and the temperature is perfect. And
helicopters are going to fly over. That's
it's
just
part of the hopefully you can hear the little nature in the background.
And I'm too lazy to edit it out. That's the kind of podcast this is.
It's real, man. It's real. It's gritty.
It's gritty, man.
I love it.
It's gritty.
But
anyway, you were saying, that the fans.
The fans
you appreciate
are awesome.
the fans. They're awesome. Yeah.
They're global. I mean, I'll be in like the small little town in Sicily. This little town called Shaka, and like this is a tiny little town in the south of Sicily, and like 500. I'm not kidding. Like 500 kids showed up, and they start telling their friends, and the news came out, and like everybody wanted to get a picture with Coach Bolton. It's like, wow, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So the fan base, like, super grateful for that.
Yeah.
But really, it didn't really open up any like job opportunities.
Sure.
Because the fans are not the ones hiring me. You know, the fans are young. They're kids. I mean, they're getting older now. They're like high school and college, but it didn't really present a lot of opportunities. And I think for like several years, it was really hard for me to get into doors to cool projects, really.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, I'm feeling like it's better, and I'm getting better opportunities now, because now it's like, I've got the fan base, but I don't have that stigma, like there's been enough space between doing that job, and I've done a lot of, I don't know, more actor friendly kind of, or actor interesting jobs since then,
Yeah.
So I think, I'm pretty happy where I'm at.
Well, and
now.
you also, I don't know if it was just a year ago, you also did that Amazon Prime. Was it Amazon?
It was the Amazon show. It was the
Amazon
Amazon show. I did like 3 series that I was recurring on. So I'm recurring. I did 7 episodes of that show, and I worked on my birthday. On my actual birthday, I'm shooting on December 13th. We're shooting my birthday, and the scene is the wake of my wife's that plays my wife, the character. Play my
not your real wife.
She dies. She dies. So it's like her funeral. It's her wake. So I'm sitting there and I'm sad, and I'm just kind of looking around, and my real wife in the scene. She walks through the room.
Oh, weird.
And nuzzles up to this guy playing her boyfriend and kisses him on my birthday. And I'm like, man.
Wow.
There you go.
That's showbiz.
There you go.
Showbiz.
Felt like $1 million.
I bet you did. I bet you did. Now you probably have a policy in all your contracts. I will not work on my birthday, and my wife will not kiss another actor on my birthday.
Yeah.
That's probably let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about the fact is that you're still working all the time, which is fantastic to support your awesome family. But in addition to that, also, you're delving into producing and doing your own films. You're actually going to try to direct. Well, I know you've directed some stuff before, but for feature, like your first feature,
Yeah.
So this will be your first feature that you're trying to develop.
First feature, yeah.
So
I wrote and directed a short film.
Based
on me and my brothers.
Which is great.
Which you've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, about our loosely based on our surf trips to Mexico.
I love it. It was such a great little film.
I'm
it's
very
fun.
serious.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it.
Serious.
I know you probably punch holes all through it because it's your film, but as an outsider not knowing anything about it, I really enjoyed it.
No, you know what, man? Here's the thing. I think half of it's great. And I could say, hey, look at this half of this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really good. Yeah. And the other half's like, oh, that's film school. So I learned a ton. I'm ready to up the game on the future.
That's one of the things, actually, that's really great about being an actor who gets to work all the time is you get to see a variety of directors. And you can pick up I'm doing that when I direct. And I'm not doing that. And I'm going to have this prepared. So you learn a lot.
No,
right?
I tell you, man, if I'm being totally honest, most of the time, I'd say 8, maybe 9 out of 10 times, I think this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or girl, or whoever, like it. Usually they're guessing, and they're using their common sense, not necessarily skill or experience developed over many decades. It's a lot of times. Even in TV, man. TV.
If you think about it, like if you're only a director, when are you going to get to observe and see other directors? So you're only going to do it the way that you know how to do it. Right? Really, unless you're shadowing on a show before they get you be a director on a show, you might get that opportunity.
Right. And most directors don't write. So I think that's a big thing too.
Yeah, that's true.
They show up and do a thing. And
what's good for me is that I'm also a cinematographer. That's what I started as.
Right.
So I've been on plenty of sets and still do occasionally for friends and other things I get to work on where I'm just the DP and I watch somebody else direct. And I'm not, saying bad things behind them or anything, like picking on them, but I'll like see like, okay, wow, that director, I should totally do that next time I direct. And I'll see stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, I can tell that actor just walked away from that director and has no clue what she just told them to do or what that guy just told them to say. It's like, oh, he just gave him a line read. Oh, I can see the actor rolling their eyes. Like, so I didn't really think about that before, but yeah, you and I have been really lucky to be able to observe directors. So now that you're going to direct, you're probably going to be really great at it because you have that schooling of observing other directors.
You know what? I feel like this is a funny thing, but I think I have a huge advantage. One of the best advantages I have is being an actor for 25 years is a huge advantage. And having all that on-set experience and actually working, not just working in independent film, but like also like working in good independent film.
Sure.
And working with people that are really talented and working in a bigger budget, stuff too, and a lot of television. I've been lucky to work with a lot of really talented people. Yeah. That's a huge advantage. Yeah. But I write too. I've been writing for, like 12 years now. So I'm like, I've learned a lot. I've taken a lot of writing classes and spent a lot of time doing that. Yeah. So I kind of feel like, and then I've got this other like really unique advantage where I've got a really talented wife, Robin Lively. Is her name, by the way, everybody who might be listening.
She's not bad.
She's not bad, man. She's not bad. She's had like 9 TV series, nominated for an Emmy. She's been around forever. She's terrific.
No, she is terrific.
And when she goes on tape, I direct her. So she gets, so all the time. And I mean all the time. Sometimes every day. She'll have, 8, 10, 12 pages of very serious material, 3 or 4 scenes. Right. And she has to put it on tape. And then I get to direct her and pull out the performance and kind of like see what she's doing and work through things. And we'll spend, we spend 4 hours like working on the acting. Yeah. Finding that,
Sure. Now, does it go both ways? When you're auditioning on tape, does she direct you?
Oh, yeah.
Or she's like, yeah, Bart, just do the thing you do.
No. She's so good, man. And she's literally been making a living at it since she was 3. Like literally, like she didn't have a childhood. She worked through her childhood, went to professional schools and all that kind of stuff. Sure. So she grew up on set. She gets it. Yeah. And so it makes it really fun. And she's better than me. She's a better actor than me, really. And so when I
don't know. Next time I'm here, we'll have a contest. Yeah. You guys can both give me your best monologues.
I
I'll see who I like better.
I concede. She's awesome. She's great.
She's certainly better to look at than you.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's 90% of the battle right there, too.
I'm actually trying not to look at you right now. That's how hideous you are.
Good call. I respect that.
Anyway. Well, thank you for chatting up with me today.
My pleasure. Hey, did we mention we worked together? Only one day.
Yeah, I know.
We've worked one day together,
it's pathetic.
Man.
I know. And you did a great job.
Thanks, man. You did too.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I loved it. I had a really great experience, and we need to do something, man.
We do.
We need to figure out something we can do together.
I know we will. It's going to come. I feel bad. You have a brother who's we have both your brothers actually I've worked with either on commercials with and all that. But literally your brother Adam, I did a commercial with him as a director. I've worked with him as a DP a few times. But literally, I've known him forever. I've actually known him a little bit longer than you. And just this last year, we did a car commercial together. Oh. And that was the first time I'd ever directed him. But really? I've known him for 12 years or something. And he's like, finally, you're actually going to direct me in something. Uh-huh. And truthfully, he just knocked it out of the park. I hardly had to give him any direction. I'm like, you got the character, man. You know exactly what it is. Just do it again and let's call it a day. But anyway, but I wish you well on your feature film.
Thanks.
If it's anything like the short, it's going to be killer. I'm excited to see it.
Thanks, man.
It's going to be great. So I think my last question for you is just tell people where they can find you on social media. I mean, you're out there.
I'm not everywhere, but I'm on Instagram mostly.
Of course.
Mostly, like I'd say, just go to Instagram or Twitter. It's the same handle. Yeah. It's at BART _Johnson, BART _Johnson. That's me.
Cool.
That's it for Twitter and Instagram. But I really just kind of on Instagram only.
Yeah, kind of me too. Yeah. So if anybody has any questions or comments, you guys can reach out to me on Instagram as well. That's the best place to message me. It's just Ryan Little _director. Anyway, well, thanks guys for tuning in and listening. And thanks, Bart, for your time. I really
Thanks for having me. That was awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right. Guys, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.